Okay, we're going to look at problems with the discriminant. So last time out with the discriminant, we just did some basic stuff, which was to calculate the discriminant and state the nature of the roots. We're just going to take it a wee bit further and look at some questions that are a wee bit more problematic. So let's start with an example 1. Okay, example 1. For what value of k as does the equation (2x squared minus 7x plus k plus 5 equals 0 have equal roots? Okay, now the first thing that I need to do is to identify a, b and c. Okay, a is the coefficient of x squared, so just a reminder that we're thinking about ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So a is the coefficient of x squared, that's 2. B is the coefficient of x, that's minus 7. And c is everything else in the question, which is k plus 5. So a is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is everything else in the question. A is 2, b is minus 7, c is k plus 5. Okay, now what do I know? I know that the things get equal roots, so I'm going to make a statement there, which is for equal roots. Now, what do I know to be true for equal roots? I know that the discriminant is equal to 0. Okay, so b squared, b is minus 7, so that's minus 7 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2 times c, which is k plus 5. I'm just going to throw that in a bracket. Is equal to 0. Minus 7 squared is 49. And then I've got minus 4 times 2 is minus 8. Bracket k plus 5 is equal to 0. Okay, so that's 49 minus 8k minus 40 is equal to 0. And that's minus 8k plus 9 equals 0. Minus 8k equals minus 9. And k would be minus 9 over minus 8, which cancels down just to 9/8. Okay, let's try an example 2, which is the equation (2x squared plus 4px plus p squared minus 2p minus 1 is equal to 0 has equal roots. Find the value of p. Okay, first of all, let's make a statement for equal roots. B squared minus 4ac equals 0 for equal roots. So I'd probably get a mark for that. That's a interpretation mark. Okay, so let's now identify a, b and c. Okay, a is the coefficient of x squared, that's 2. B is the coefficient of x. Now be careful, that's not 4. What's attached to x? That's not 4, it's 4p. And c is everything else. Okay, so that's p squared minus 2p minus 1. Okay, now let's start to sub this stuff in. So for b squared, it's going to be 4p. I need to wrap a bracket around that to show that I'm squaring the full thing. So 4p all squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c. Now there's multiple terms there, so again let's wrap it in a bracket, is equal to 0. 4p all squared is 16p squared, and then minus 4 times 2 is minus 8, bracket p squared minus 2p minus 1 is equal to 0. 16p squared minus 8p squared, minus 8 times minus 2p is plus 16p, then minus 8 times minus 1 is plus 8, and that's equal to 0. Okay, 16p squared minus 8p squared is 8p squared, so if now I get 8p squared plus 16p plus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, so first row of factorising, take out a common factor, so 8 bracket p squared plus 2p plus 1 is equal to 0. I can then divide both sides by 8, and that will leave me with p squared plus 2p plus 1 is equal to 0. Two numbers that multiply give 1, add together give 2, that's 1 and 1. So that's p plus 1 is equal to 0, and p is equal to minus 1, final answer. Okay, question 3. The roots of mx squared minus 2m plus 4x plus 8 equals 0 are equal. Write the value of m. Okay, so let's do two things quickly. First thing, let's make a statement: b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0 for equal roots. Next move, let's identify a, b and c. A is the coefficient in front of x squared, that's m. B is the coefficient in front of x, so that's minus bracket 2m plus 4. And C is everything else, which is 8. Okay, let's start to put this in. So minus bracket 2m plus 4 squared minus 4 times a, which is m, times c, which is 8, is equal to 0. Okay, so first of all, I square the negative to get a positive, so that's that organised. And then I just need to square that bracket then. So 2m plus 4 all squared minus 4 times m times 8. Well, 4 times 8 is 32, and times that by m is 32m is equal to 0. Okay, let's expand this out now. So that would be 4m squared plus 4 times 2m is 8m, plus another 4 times 2m is 8m again, plus 4 squared is 16, minus 32m is equal to 0. Okay, so that's 4m squared, 8m, 16m, take away 32m is minus 16m, plus 16 is equal to 0. First we'll factorise and take out a common factor. 4 bracket m squared minus 4m plus 4 is equal to 0. Divide both sides by 4. And that will give me m squared minus 4m plus 4 equals 0. Two numbers that multiply give 4, add together give minus 4 is minus 2 and minus 2. And that will give me m minus 2 equals 0 and m equals